Hello, everybody. Mel here. How are you guys? I am just popping on because I want to talk to you all about hormone health. When someone says, "Oh, I'm dealing with hormone issues," and everyone refers to hormones as only the sex hormones. So people will refer to like their hormones as being estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. And I'm here to tell you there is a lot more to our hormones than just the sex hormones. We're talking all of the hormones. Hormones are little chemical messengers that go around in our body and send messages. So if you have one that's out of whack, you're going to feel chaos within your body, and this can really cause havoc. Honestly, it can really impair our ability to live a really full, happy life. And as we get older, as we age, we are going to deal with this more often than not. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry to tell you that. Our hormone levels are going to change throughout our life. And as we age, sometimes it gets a little bit rocky. But we need to figure out what it is that we can do in order to go back to the foundations, back to the things that will help us balance them out and help find that homeostasis inside our bodies so that we can live a happy, fulfilled life and not feel like a crazy person, not suffer in silence, because so many of us suffer and think it's normal. It's just normal to feel like this, but it's not normal. It's really not normal. We shouldn't deal with PMS and mood swings and constipation and low libido and all of the things. That's not normal, right? So I want to tell you a few things that you can do in order to, get those hormones kind of off of the roller coaster and just kind of surf through your later years in peace. It's not easy. I'm not gonna lie. Does take work. But the very first thing I would tell you is to look at your nutrition. Dial in what you're eating. Try and stick with an anti-inflammatory diet. So you want to make sure you're getting really good quality sources of plant protein and animal protein, both or one or the other. So important. You want to make sure you're choosing quality, because if you are just choosing any kind of animal protein, that's not going to help your insides. It's not going to alleviate the issue. You really need to look for pasture-raised, organic, hormone and antibiotic free. So very important. Same with your vegetables and fruits. When you can, always choose organic, because there's pesticides and herbicides, chemicals that really get inside us and can cause havoc. If you can't, do the organic, sometimes it's not available. Sometimes it's not in your budget. Just make sure you're washing your food very, very well before you're consuming it. And then, of course, having things like healthy fats. So avocados, olives, avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, nuts and seeds. Making sure you're having really good quality fats is so super essential. And of course, as I mentioned already, your fruits and your vegetables. If you can tolerate, have gluten-free grains. So some quinoa, some buckwheat, even rice would be okay if you can tolerate that. It's so very, very important. And I'd like to tell you should have an apple a day. Apples are so full of good fiber. They have something called pectin in them. It's really going to help your gut health. It's going to keep your bowels going. We really need to make sure we're getting a lot of fiber as a woman. I mean, as a man too, but as a woman, we need that fiber. We should be having really good bowel movements every single day. And fiber is going to help you do that. And not only, obviously we want to have good bowel health, but we also want to be able to get rid of those excess toxins and estrogens and things that are in our body. By eliminating them through our bowels is one way that we can get rid of that. So you don't want to have excess hormones, excess estrogen in there, because truly it's not good, because that's going to create the PMS. It's going to create irregularities in your periods. It's going to create havoc. So making sure you're not having these different estrogens that are foreign estrogens that can, be created within the chemicals and the things that we're ingesting. We want to make sure we stay on top of that. The next thing I would say, which is kind of the same the same thing, we're still on nutrition, is reduce your refined carbohydrates. So super important. We do not need them. Not only do they cause, a glue type consistency and can actually plug you up and cause constipation, it'll cause hormonal imbalances, like, it's nobody's business. A diet high in refined carbohydrates is going to really mess with your insulin levels. And insulin is our fat storage hormone. So when we have too much of that going on, we are going to have a really hard time losing weight. So you're going to deal with weight loss resistance. And we don't want that either in our late years. We want to enjoy life and feel our best, right? So really so important there. And if you have too much insulin, you're going to be dealing with low energy. You're going to be dealing with cravings. You're going to be dealing with mood swings. You're going to be dealing with that tire around your middle. We don't want that. So I would cut back on the refined carbohydrates as much as you can and stick with those, good sources of proteins, fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, healthy fats. And if you can tolerate, you definitely have some grains in there, but all the rest of them, I would really cut back on those. The next thing you really need to focus on is your gut health. And I've just sort of briefly talked about that and having regular bowel movements. Making sure you're eating really high fiber fruits and vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts. All of these have a really high indole carbonyl 3, so IC3, and this helps remove those foreign estrogens from your body, which is going to help your PMS, your irregular periods. It's going to help perimenopause, menopause, all of those feelings that you get. You really want to watch that estrogen. So that's something that you can think about, making sure you're having really high fiber type vegetables. So important. And we also want to make sure, in the gut health kind of realm, this is going to help us detoxify. And we want to detoxify because that's removing the crap from our body, which is one of those detox pathways is your bowels, right? Is pooping it out. So we should be having 2 to 3 poops a day. A lot of people don't have that much, and that is quite sad. And if you're having less than that, then you are constipated. So you really want to look at why that is. Increase your water. Make sure you're, as I say, eating enough fiber. Really so important in our hormone health. And, on the topic of gut health, you want to make sure you're having a probiotic. You really want to make sure you're also having a prebiotic or eating prebiotic type foods. So your garlics, asparagus, onion, oats would be good if you do gluten-free, bananas. All of these types of things are going to help feed the probiotics, which is the good bacteria, and help squish out, reduce, or flush out those bad ones. So you want to really look at that. Gut health is so super important when it comes to our hormone health. The next thing is sleep. This is one that not many people prioritize, and you don't really realize the impact not getting enough sleep has on your health and on your hormones. So when you are not getting enough sleep, your body can't heal things. It impacts your hormone health. It raises your cortisol, right? Cortisol is your stress hormone. And if you're not sleeping, that's going to be raised. And when cortisol is raised, insulin comes to town because they're besties. And then you're dealing with that whole surge, that cycle of too much insulin, which then can cause insulin resistance. It's a real thing. Not to mention, if you're not sleeping well, you're going to deal with leptin and ghrelin, which is your hunger hormones. They're going to be out of balance, which is going to have you craving more foods, more comfort type foods. You're not going to feel satiated. You're going to feel like you need to keep eating even though you're not really hungry. And that's because your hormones have not had a chance to reset and rebalance during your sleep. So it really is, it's huge. And sadly, as we get older, sleep becomes really difficult. We struggle with this. And believe me, I'm there. Sometimes some nights it's really hard. And so what you need to do is figure out why you're struggling with your sleep. What is going on? What can you do in order to get a good night's sleep? If you're eating too much sugar, too much carbohydrates, that can be causing a problem with your sleep cycle. It can be waking you up because your blood sugar is dipping. But it can also cause you to just have a really restless night. Another thing you could look at is your melatonin. Maybe you need a little help there. You could really start narrowing in on a good sleep routine. A bedtime routine is so crucial. Have hot tub, have a sauna if you have one, have a hot Epsom's bath, have a cup of chamomile tea. Like there's a lot of things that you can do. Start turning off your devices and all of the bright lights a half an hour or so before, up to an hour would be perfect, but even a half an hour before you get into bed, journal. Do a brain dump. If you are like me and you lay down and all of the things come to your mind that you have not thought about in hours or days or weeks or months, you could brain dump right before you go to bed, and that might help you sleep better. So there are things that we can really do in order to balance out our hormones. And it can get really confusing because there are so much things out there, but these are the basics, right? These are basic foundations that are going to help you feel better. And if this is of interest to you, you definitely want to check out my new program that is starting in September. It's called Naturally Balanced. It is on an early bird sale right now, which is a perfect time to grab it. This is a 3-month course where we're going to dive really deep into all of these subjects and more. Of course, there's lots of different modules. Each week, we're going to have a live lesson. We're going to go through, figure out what it is that's holding you back from living your best life and give you the chance to reinvent yourself and reinvent your situation, right? We are in the driver's seat. We have complete control over what we put in our body, how we live, what we think. And sometimes it gets confusing and it gets a little overwhelming and you need some help. So I'm inviting you to come and join us in my Naturally Balanced, where we can get to the root cause and we can figure out what the imbalances are and we can make it easy, right? I've got lots of delicious recipes, actually 6 months worth of recipes. So this isn't just, a come in, do the work. This is something that's going to change your life and get you living a different lifestyle, but in a good way, because these are going to create habits and you're going to start incorporating these in your day-to-day life, and it's going to become just your natural way. So I look forward to seeing you on the inside. If you have any questions, make sure you hit reply, comment below. Let's set up a free call and let's get you feeling your absolute best. It doesn't have to be complicated, and you definitely don't need to live in suffering, agonizing discomfort of not understanding what the heck is going on. As a woman, we're pretty blessed, right? We're pretty cool. So we want to obviously live to our potential. Who wants to have this, stuff that's going on in our bodies that just make us feel like crap? And it's time to, get to the bottom of it and get feeling your absolute best. I hope everybody is happy, safe, and well, and we'll chat with you soon.